Yeah, but you can't hear you though. You're over there.
I'm loud as fuck right next to him.
Yeah.
So, all right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Talk to Me or whatever. You already know my special guest right here, Arlo, and then we have Young Wide. JJ's in the back. He's sad because he can't be in. He has to go to work, and we say fucking ass. So we were talking to Arlo, and Arlo was talking to us about caliche and how he wanted to build his house out of it, and looking for land and stuff like that. And it's a crazy process that you're talking about the caliche.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did a little bit of research because I told you I work in the. It's as strong or stronger than concrete.
Yeah.
So that's crazy because it turns into actual stone.
Yes.
Forever.
Lasts a period of time.
Yeah.
Caliche, essentially, if you look at pure carbonate caliche, it's basically limestone. But our caliches aren't pure. So you end up with clays, you end up with sands in it. So if you take that, powderize it, somewhere around the 0.5 to 0.001 millimeter diameter size particle, right? And you blow that or drop it where it can be forced through with compressed air, but it's extremely hot, between 500 to 800 C. So, you know, it's hot as fuck. But it's very quick. And what happens is it flash calcinates. And when it flash calcinates, that very carbonate limestone caliche turns into quicklime. The clays turn into something called stuff like metakaolin, which is high in alumina silicates and calcium silicates. So what basically happens is when you're doing that, you're actually boiling chemically bonded water that's plucked itself into this rock and is now stone, right? So when you boil it off, it becomes lighter, it becomes less dense, all these things. A bunch of CO2 gets boiled off also. When all that comes out, though, it's highly reactive. You mix that with something called fly ash that comes from coal-fired refineries, and I can get that for literally like somewhere between 2 cents and a nickel a kilo from Alibaba. You might be talking about, even with the tariffs and everything else, maybe 8-10 cents. It's not that expensive, and if you're doing all this and you use a little bit of water glass and caustic soda with it to mix all this, it gels. It makes this sodium alumina silicate hydrate. And when it dries and it hardens, especially in the presence of heat, it turns into a stone. And the stuff I'm looking at is somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 psi compression strength. Regular concrete's around 5. Regular concrete is hygroscopic. This stuff is hygroscopic. The other stuff, this stuff is hydrophobic, meaning that this stuff is waterproof. It has less pores. It's less prone for water to get in, pulling some of those materials back out. Less thaw and freeze cycle stuff going on. So that means they're less prone to cracking. All around, it's just a better product.
And it requires a little bit of elbow work to get to it. But overall, the material you get is much more stronger and lasts you a long time.
Yeah,
do you plan on looking for land to do that?
Yeah,
or what's your?
Yeah, I'm looking for a piece of property that has out here in the Tucson area in this valley, something that has clay, something that has sand on it, as well as, because caliche's everywhere here, but the clays would be advantageous because the more metakaolin is in it, the stronger it is, obviously. The other thing is you dig a hole in the ground and you dig it out, and you got that 12 foot in the ground, 14 foot in the ground, and you put this circular structure that, because it's compressing in all sides, it's less likely to fail. It's actually stronger that way. Because it's in the ground, you're talking about similar temperatures as what it is in the ground at that point, right? So you'll have a basement in Tucson. Nobody has a basement in Tucson.
Yeah.
Everybody has an air conditioner instead.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is I want to pay in on the front end. And this stuff isn't real expensive. I mean, we're talking $130 a cubic yard for material. You're talking 15 grand to build the place I want to build. And that's pretty big. I mean, it's 36 foot wide diameter cylinder that's 24 foot tall with a platform in the center and another platform for a roof.
Yeah, you showed me the sketches.
Yeah.
What you plan on to do, the dome and everything. And I was laughing because it's just, when I think about it, I'm like, damn, this dude thought about like even like the compression and then the ability so the dome holds itself up. And I was thinking, I was like, that's really like, that's not really easy math to do. But then I see you sketched it out and I was like, he knows.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And I don't know if he did the math or not, but I was like, that dude, like.
I'm taking advantage of a couple of different AIs also to do research, because that just speeds up everything for me. I let it do some of the formula work, and then I go back and then I retrace all the steps and basically do what the engineer used to do to me when I was doing design work.
Yeah. No, and I tripped out because like you've been talking to AI a lot. Like I'm having conversations and I'm like, what? And I go and I see you and he's like talking to him. I was like, this motherfucker really asking these motherfucking questions. Like that's crazy, but it's funny because like you don't think about it like a lot of shit can be simply answered by AI.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And what are some of the ones that you use?
Unfortunately, the best one I've found for what I'm using it for, comes from that fucking Hitler throwing Nazi saluting motherfucker, Elon Musk, Twitter, his AI Grok. But I've been using Perplexity, which is an app that wishes to supplant Google and for search engine stuff. And I'm starting to use that a lot more for research. It doesn't have the history function that Grok has, but it has the ability to copy and paste out of the program easier than Grok does. So there's some trade-offs.
But that's doing a lot of the heavy work for you as far as formula goes, and
not so much the formulas, but doing the rapid iteration. It's a lot like 3D printing where, okay, we looked at this, we look at the price, we look at a couple of the things, we look at maybe a plot of land, go, no, that ain't going to work. Okay, let's change the entire design right quick and do this. Normally that would take weeks or months.
Yeah.
I'm getting it done in a couple hours.
Be ready for action, ready to just get to it.
Yeah,
And is this house going to be underground, you're saying?
Oh, 12 foot of it will be. 12 foot will be above.
Okay.
So, and I said that this stuff has to be in the presence of heat to solidify and harden. Okay, so here's where it has dual function. I'm going to run PEX tubing through the shell of this stone material to solidify it, right? So I'm going to run hot water, the hot water tanks, two or three of them. Get them good and hot, get the whole structure hot between 150 and 176 degrees for approximately 48 hours. Okay, great. So during the day, after this thing has been built, I'll be able to transport that heat out of the walls and use it somewhere else. Again, back maybe in those hot water heaters to store.
Yeah.
All recyclable.
Yeah.
All recyclable. Yeah.
Everything, I want everything in it to serve 2 or 3 functions and purposes, you know.
You don't need to worry about heat in the winter or anything like that.
Don't have to worry about cooling because I got a basement. And if I put some tubing through there to pull that coolness out and put it into the top of the house, I can keep it cooler year round. I'll have to have this all through the floor in the slab floor on the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 12-foot. So I'll be able to pull the heat from the top that's so hot and put it down there so it'll be comfortable to keep it about 65, 75 degrees in the winter and a little hotter during the summer. And I'm fine with that. You know, 75, 85 degrees in the fucking summer out here ain't bad.
Yeah.
You know, if I was in Michigan, I'd be fucking dying. If I was in Louisiana, I wouldn't be able to breathe. But Arizona, 85 degrees in a house, I'm sorry, that's what I get out of my swamp cooler now. Sometimes not even that. So,
I didn't say swamp cooler because we've been fixing our swamp cooler. And it's funny because it's so basic. It's such it's primitive technology now because you have the AC.
Yeah.
They use
Oh, God.
to cool the whole house, but it takes longer. Faster, yes, it is faster. But
okay, so you want to go on that? Let's talk about that for a second, all right? I'm hearing about technology over in England where they're taking all of the old gas pipes for supplying gas to all the residences.
Mm-hmm.
They're turning those into water pipes.
Okay.
To run a fluid that will run through the ground that's warmer than the air above it, right? That's up in at the surface.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So down here, it's warming up. As it goes into the house, they'll pull that water, that heat out of the water, but little heat is in there, and get it to phase change into a slush. When it does that, it has to release so much energy to do that, it'll be able to heat the entire house just by doing that. And then it grinds that up, returns it back down, because it's slush, right? It's like a slushy machine. It pushes the slush back down into the pipe, into a return pipe, which is fairly cold all the time, but it's constantly being heated by the earth. And then it finally returns back to the other pipe to go back to the house again. And they're going to do this throughout the entirety of their cities. They're already doing that. And then I'm hearing about this new AC that doesn't use any coolants.
Okay. All right.
It uses, all right, this is getting into quantum mechanics again. How's it going, brother? When this thing works, it has this, again, like a phase change, but it's a magnetic phase change, right? So when they apply electricity to it, the electromagnetics around it, it changes the magnetic structure. When it does that, it releases heat. They'll be able to vent that heat out, and then the air returning back to you is cold as fuck. But they're basically just cooling that air by changing the magnetic properties of a phase change material around it. Basically a heat exchanger that works on magnetics as opposed to working on anything else. And it's supposed to be even like what I was thinking about for the refrigerator in my house was like an Einstein-Slizard refrigeration system, which Einstein developed with this guy back in the 1920s and 30s, right? So it has no moving parts, solid state thing. This other one, again, solid state. You're just applying electricity to a magnet that changes that phase again. So it's very similar in that. But this other one that I'm talking about would use, normally it would use ammonia water. So think of like your Coke can with the bubbles in it, right?
Mhm.
You get it too hot, what happens? It explodes. Okay. As it boils that CO2 out, it explodes. Well, as you boil that ammonia out, it does this phase change again, whereas it cycles through that system every time it has to change from one phase to another, it's releasing or drawing in heat. So, and again, this is all solid state. There are no moving parts. All you have to do is apply heat to one, electricity to the other. I think the magnetic one is more scalable. The Einstein-Slizard one is not.
I forget what that process is called, though, because you electrify certain material to
Well,
thermal something.
you got your thermal, like your thermal cooler couplers and stuff. Yeah, for like hold on, because I was thinking about just a package.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry I missed those. I was worried there was a dog.
No,
you're
fine. What? Damn, I let it out. I'm like, no dogs here. It's nice.
Okay, so
changing the changing from the solid no moving parts.
all right, so what he was referring to is where you have an NP semiconductor, where when you pass electric current through, heat can only go in one direction, but it still produces heat. I know the one you're talking about. When you do that, that's a whole different ball game, and it's usually used for cooling or heating, like little hot boxes or coolers that you can switch back and forth and run off your outlet in your car for cooling your drinks or keeping your sandwiches warm when you're traveling. I know the process you're talking about. That is not it. That actually is still much more energy intensive than this other system. ACs actually work better than those, but if you couple those with certain things, like an AC system or this Einstein-Slizard system, it would work. You get that added benefit, right? So then you can get where you can get the same kind of numbers as this other magnetic system or some of the other ones. But now you're talking about added complexity. And of course, companies, now you got another part that'll fail that drives their warranty fucking number into a place they don't like, all that kind of shit. You know, you got to remember, everything in our country is becoming not for sale. It's coming for rent. Our printers, our lights, our cars, our phones, everything. So I've been off the grid off and on in my life so much, and I've been called this real dirty word, in my opinion, several times, a survivalist. Because when you think of survivalists, you think of things like Terry Nichols and Timothy McVeigh and people like that. You know, I don't want to be in that class, but I don't want to be in our post-capitalist, authoritarian society. I see where it's going, and I see where fanboys turn into fucking complicit sympathizers and people that look the other way and do stuff like that. And I just want to get a little piece of property and kind of get my head where it's low enough where I don't have to worry about,
I mean,
getting it knocked off.
Now that's a pretty high tech feat right now, because everybody's in every business.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that are happening that people don't see behind the doors are actually going to pop up, and people aren't going to be able to handle, because they don't have the abilities that you know.
Yeah.
And kind of crazy because like my brother's been talking to me about it a lot lately. Better have ammo and guns and this and that. I'm like,
it's a great idea to have a gun. It's a great idea to have ammo. Great idea to reload and all this. We live in a modern world. You can't make black powder from scratch anymore. You don't know where to go get the lead to go fucking mine it to fucking produce raw material. None of us do. I got this much knowledge in my head, and I'm leaps and bounds above most people. But it's still this much knowledge.
Yeah.
The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know.
Well, it's like a vast amount of, like, it's like an ocean. Vast amount of information, and you throw a dot in there, and it's like, you make no effect of it, you know?
This right here is what I'm going to rely on for the foreseeable future, or another one like it.
I mean, you're not wrong because the bullets go out.
Yeah, and what if they make guns illegal? Yeah. And I'm sorry, the conservative thing. Oh, we gotta keep our Second Amendment, keep our Second Amendment, keep our Second Amendment. They'll do that right up to the part where they're jerking these fuckers out and shooting them in their fucking yard, taking their guns because they got bigger, badder shit. Bottom line. And this thing with this Garcia character that got sent to fucking El Salvador on purpose, on accident, but it was on purpose because the El Salvadorian government's been wanting this guy since he fucking left El Salvador to come here, and he was facing torture and death that guy ain't coming back. He's dead. He's dead. They're doing that to some Joe Blow over here that this fucking dictator over there don't want. What's to stop a dictator here from doing that to me and yous?
Mm-hmm. It's a crazy thing to think about, like, because it's something that, like, like the word survivalists talk about. But it's true, like, how are you going to make bow and arrows? Because, like, bullets will eventually go out.
Yeah, I know how to make a bow. I know how to make arrows. I know how to fletch stuff. I know how to fucking make cordage to make a fucking string to fucking do something. Show me somebody else that knows how to make rope from scratch.
And the reason why I bring that up is because me and my brother are probably the last generation that actually got to play with sticks and rocks. And I say that because I remember we used to play Power Rangers. We were kids, bro. We played Power Rangers, I could use a stick if I have to. If I really need to defend myself, I can. I could use a knife if I have to. If I have to make shit out of rocks, I can make something out of a rock. If I have to make a bow and arrow, I can make a bow and arrow if I needed to. Do I want to? No. Would I rather have bullets, artillery?
Dude, I don't go hunting because I don't want to. I did that shit when I was a kid. Not because I wanted to, because I was hungry. I can go to the store. All these idiot fucking conservative guys that are fucking going, oh, I'm a big hunter. Fuck off. All right? I can go to the store. Buy something that usually tastes a little better, and it's usually the antibiotics kill the fucking shit that might be in that shit out in the wild. There's a reason why we don't eat shit like that all the time anymore. It used to kill us. We can go back to it. We can go back to a bunch of us going to die because we don't know how to fucking process the stuff. We don't know how to cure it anymore. We don't know how to fucking get the minerals that we need to put with it, like the potassium nitrate and the sodium nitrate and stuff like that to cure it. None of us know how to fucking go out and find that shit no more. Most of the stuff is fucking industrially made anyway.
I mean, that's going to be a big. You'll see a lot of. You'll see the population drop quickly. That's what you're going to see.
If anything ever goes down, you're talking about 85% of it. 17 out of 20.
And then
don't fucking walk away from it.
They're dangerous species, but it's because we've made it so so easy for everybody. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Everything is so convenient to everybody.
Convenience.
But if you don't study,
And it's all what they've done on purpose is they've grown this structure where it's a top-down thing, right? It's not spread out anymore. It's top-down. So you have this guy that tells this guy to produce something. He gets in touch with his fucking company, his manufacturing company, right? This shop, and they manufacture beef. Okay, I'm sorry, it's manufactured now. It doesn't come out of a lab, but it's still manufactured. It comes to us at this exorbitant cost, not because it costs that much to produce, because where else can you get it? When that system fails, before we had 97% of us were farmers, now that 3% of us are farmers, it doesn't scale back. It will cost 85%. Like I said, 17 out of 20% of us 17 out of 20 people will not be alive to work anywhere.
and it's insane to me because the people you make fun of, like the smart people, like, oh, you're fucking reading, like they're gonna fucking know how to survive because they're gonna be able to read it in a book. Because I mean, if the internet goes out, power goes out, you don't have internet, you don't have anything. You're stuck with your wits and what you can learn, and that's
what you already have learned.
Exactly.
And what did you learn? I learned about Big Brother, Survivor, and whatever else out there, and all the stuff that's on TikTok, and all the stuff that's on Snapchat. And I know how tall Brad Pitt is, and I know how much Angelina Jolie weighs. And can you make a fire? Can you make shelter?
Yeah.
We're gonna die.
I mean, you got the way it's funny. Like I said, Arizona is so easy. It's such a. I've seen some survival shows of the desert, and to survive here, especially with the dry heat and there's not a lot of water resources, people are going to fall like flies. And I understand that people don't get it. They don't see that happening. People are naive. But like I said, the people you make fun of are the people that are probably end up surviving way better than you. You know what I mean? Especially if you know how to colonize. You're going to need those smart people. You're going to need those people that are labor workers, the big, strong people. You're going to need people that are meat, that they can go fucking searching, looking for shit. Like, you're going to need certain...
Everybody is needed. And unfortunately, a bunch of people aren't going to be around to figure it out.
Well, you've seen the movie The Lord of the Flies, right?
Yeah.
So you remember the weaker ones, they were the first ones to go. They were the first ones that got pawned. That smart and strong, the ones that know shit, the ones that can do shit, that are going to dominate everybody else. Sheep from slaughter.
And then when
that's what they're counting
smaller,
on.
it's going to be easier for a bigger power to take control of everything. Especially when you have no communications with electricity or light or any internet to communicate with. Like, if it's just like, if it happened right now and we're just in this house, who do we talk to get anything done? Because if someone shows up with a bigger power, we're going to be like, you know what? We're rolling with you. For sure. Or that, or we're going to die.
Survival. That's
exactly, yeah.
And the survival situation, that's the best thing to do because it's your survival. If they have more resources than you, yeah, okay, cool. Loyalty is going to be gold. And, being able to...
And your possessions mean nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the most thing you're probably going to have value is probably knives, swords,
water,
whatever you could trade. Yeah,
some
blankets become
knowledge,
blankets
skills
become money. Modern commodities, forks. Oh shit, you have a fork? Yeah, man.
Nobody's seen one of those in 15 years, man.
Shit. Oh, you got lighters? Oh shit, you got or fuck, you got a something, dude. Something of value.
We go back to the trade system.
This will go the fuck away. This will go the fuck away.
So
this is getting melted down and turned into something.
Well, that's what technology is not going to go away because we forget that forks, spoons, hammers, screwdrivers. That was a form of technology back in the day. That was new and modern. That technology is going to come back. The old school technology, the handmade, like the blacksmith. You know,
but it's going to take time.
Yeah.
And the people that are thinking they're prepping and doing all this prepping shit, that doesn't help. I'll tell you what happens when you prep. It's like walking out and building a big sign in your front yard and going, all the stuff you need when the shit hits the fan is right here under this arrow. That's what you're doing when you're prepping. You're building a big fucking thing saying, hey,
I'm a grocery store.
I'm a grocery store for you when this goes out. And the reason why I say that, during the pandemic, there was a guy that lost his fucking shit. Thought the world was ending. Went to a billionaire's house. Got in his bunker. Ended up shooting the billionaire's daughter. Yeah. Now, it all got settled because there were still cops and all that kind of shit. But if you don't think that's the first thing everybody's going to fucking do, you're wrong.
Yeah. I know you joked about it. You're like, I wonder what a millionaire tastes like. I was just like,
I'm serious.
No, but it's true because usually you go with people that have the money because they have the resources. And yeah, you could pay some guy to protect you, but how is he going to stop 150 people coming?
How are you going to pay this guy money, paper, when paper burns?
Or can't be used, no longer valuable.
That's what I'm getting at. It burns. Look, our money has just dropped in value a huge amount over the past fucking 2 weeks. Everybody's fucking grandma has nothing left in their 401k just about. And they're going, oh, you should be fine now. Who the fuck are you? Fucking Tesla fucking dropped fucking almost 200 fucking points. $200. You fucking out of your damn mind?
Right now, like with this whole tariff thing, it fucking sucks because they're really playing who's got the bigger balls. Who's gonna pull out first. And they're not hurting.
They're not hurting billionaires. They're hurting
millions. Yeah, you're right. They're not hurting those big companies. They're hurting the little guys.
Yeah. They're hurting people like us.
And China's best way of going around it is like, we're actually going to go to your people, sell them our product directly to your people, so they
bypass Jeff Bezos, the Sam Walton's family, all that bullshit. And Home Depot's fucking megalopoly of whatever the fuck they got.
I saw it. This is what's really creative. China TikTok, obviously, board against it, but there's a pod company, a disco pod company saying, hey, we sell our pods 15 cents. We could sell you a bucket for $3, and then you could sell it for $10, whatever. Here is our idea. You buy it from us directly, we send it to you, and we're going to pay, you're going to get around all the tariffs and all this bullshit, whatever. You're just going to pay the amount you need, and then you become an ambassador for us, and then you sell our Tide Pods. So I'm like, if you're selling it for 15 cents, this little Tide Pod, it probably costs you 5 cents to make.
Or less.
And yeah, and you're selling you're buying the bucket. Like a big bucket. It's a big bucket of like 60 pods, whatever. And you're selling it here for like $10. You go to fucking Walmart.
That's $25, $30.
Yeah. But you're selling it for $10. You're making a killing.
I wish half the time I got shit in my pockets, right?
Yeah.
I don't have anything in my pockets today.
I think you discussed about the chargers, how you worried about chargers.
The reselling, yeah.
And I was like, that's funny because that's what China's doing now. It's actually going to the actual people and saying like, hey, like, what about this product? Did you ever think you could sell this product or you could do this? And I'm like, dude, like they're making it so you could be.
At that point, the tariff doesn't matter. If I have to pay, say I got to pay 150% tariff on fucking Chinese goods, okay? And I sell one of those chargers, say, for $15. And Amazon's got it for $28. I'm still making like $9 on that. $8.50
For what?
So like
for
my
one.
my brother's done this math before where he's like saying, I only need like
Even if I got it,
he's like, I only need like 5,000. If I sell this amount for like this amount, I'll get this per month. That's the goal I need to reach. And I see that now because I went to business school and I see it as a business sense. We just need to find the product. That's what it is. It's just
products.
product.
Well, even like the best products, as long as you don't have the right promotion, like you have the best service, the best product, but if no one knows about you, what good is it?
Right.
That's why we're saying like that's why we do editing video and stuff like that. Actually, that's the goal. But you're right, dude. It's insane because you brought up the idea, and then like now I'm starting to see how like it can come into fruition. You know what I'm saying? Especially right now, people are like not finding jobs out here. Like you need
Wait. You mentioned something about making a product out of the caliche, and I got to thinking.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, are you doing that to sell? What are you doing that for?
I'm just doing it to save
For
money.
your house, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, high performance concrete usually runs about $250, $300 a fucking yard. This stuff's about 130. So I'm thinking, I'm saving a fortune. Even like regular concrete's like $100, $150 a yard minimum. You start talking about how much it's going to cost to get it there. Now you're still talking 250 again.
Yeah.
High performance. I'd have to get a fucking thing out there, a fucking cement plant, and have it just directly hooked up to a fucking pump to do it. But just making block, just like dig a hole, build a box, make it out of metal, right? And all you got to get, you just got to get it up to 175 degrees and keep it there all the time, right? So you just cover up that box and keep it hot 24 hours a day. You could have a solar, concentrated solar collector, one in a stainless steel tube, say 3/8 stainless steel tubing. I think I could probably build the whole thing for about 50 grand with the solar troughs. And then you just have a salt. You got the oil, right? And you're only bringing that up to say 400 degrees. The salt, you bring that up to 400 degrees, and it acts as a battery, right? A heat battery. So you can always pull heat out, and you can just run that box 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then think about this. You could offer a service where you will go out as an excavating crew, have people that you hire, they go out and do this excavating, they bring you back, you do it at a cheaper price, you cut out everybody else because you're doing it at a cheaper price because you're taking the material and actually using it.
Yeah.
Then you convert this stuff down, make it into block, turn around and sell it to make houses. So you make money on the front end and the back end.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I was saying. Like you need to figure out different ways to make money. Crazy how this works now. It was insane. Like, and I know people looking for jobs, and it's like,
because they're going to still use coal for a while, unfortunately.
When people are still looking for jobs, it's hard out here to find a job. And it's because everybody wants a certain amount of job that has a certain amount of pay. They're not going to find it. It's crazy because I've known people like, oh, I'm looking for a job that starts like $20 an hour. Where the fuck do you find a job that you start off at $20? Unless you have some kind of experience.
Some kind of serious skills.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day when I was doing design work, okay, yeah, it was 15 years ago, but it's only making like 18, 19 bucks an hour.
Yeah.
And then you go back to when I was in my early 20s. Here I am in my 50s, right? Go back to my early 20s. I was making $21, $22, $23 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm making steadily less every fucking year.
Yeah.
Prices aren't going down, they're going up. The only thing that's getting cheaper is fucking computer memory, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's crazy because I remember when I started working, the minimum wage was $5.75.
Yeah.
Then my mom goes, "Yeah, I used to get like $1.50," and I was like, "What?" Like back in the
Yeah.
day, like you think about it, like yeah, people are getting paid more, but everything's getting more expensive because people don't understand. This is the problem. What people don't understand. The economists, what the economic system is, they don't understand how that works.
No.
And it's crazy insane that they think that, oh, well, I need to get more money. Well, the more money you get, the more prices will go up because the products you are buying, you have to pay the person that produces them and the people that he uses to make them come out. Like, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
but the guy at the top is making this much. All the people he pays to get it is this much. We just need him to pay more, and everybody would be fabulously wealthy.
And I mean, I don't. You might not like it. So to me, when you're
To
an
me,
owner,
fabulously wealthy is like having $100,000 in the bank. But granted,
I
that's for
understand,
me
and I get
fabulously
that, but
wealthy.
I see it as like. So I see both views. Like the CEO, they're taking most of the risk. They're buying all the stuff, all the materials. They're doing that at a business sense.
When you talk about a guy that's, when you talk about that guy, you're referring to somebody like Scott, the guy we work for.
Yeah.
When we talk about um, private equity firms, no, they don't take any risk. Let me explain how they do their stuff. What they do is they take out a loan with the business they bought for the business they bought. And then that business assumes all the liability and risk. Then after they gut all the money out of that business and the business goes back public and it files Chapter 11 3 months later, right? They sell it off, but they somehow made $10 billion out of the deal and couldn't pay back a loan, but the company that they bought defaulted on the loan. I mean, they're not taking any risk. These billionaires have figured out a way. Loopholes.
Yes. You're right.
They figured out all the ways to do that.
About like the beginning of a business.
Yeah.
Like how mom and pops.
Right.
It's all the risk you're taking.
Yes.
Success is success. True. We've seen it. We've seen it in lots of different ways. Money's a piece of shit. Money's a greedy. You get greedy. Money is the biggest drug you could do. When you get money, you want more. That's when shit gets twisted. And yes, you're right. Fuck Scott, whatever. You know what I mean? He's a piece of shit. But,
These
like, eventually, you know, you don't start off like that. You start off like, you know what? If I have this idea, I'm gonna get money. Once I get money, cool. Fuck everybody else. Yeah. So I get it. You want to make a certain amount of profit, and then you're gonna want to pay people a certain amount of million. But the thing is, if you want loyalty from people, you should pay them the proper way.
You shouldn't have a guy that worked all night, got off at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then expect him to show up at 7:30 and not have paid him for the last 3 years enough to afford a decent place to live and a decent car so that he could make it there 4.5 hours after he got out of work. So a lot of companies are like that.
Yeah.
It's not just the guy we work for.
This is why it's fucking. This is what makes you mad, because you know, as a business owner, some of them, yeah, they're born into it, whatever, who cares. But those who did it independently, you know what it's like to work at the ground floor. You understand. You have to start from the ground floor. You have to start fucking janitor, whatever, move your way up to the mail room, move your way up to the fucking business room, move your way up to the manager room, to whatever, owner, whatever the fuck it is. You understand that. So you understand that there's those loyal employees that do more, but those are the ones you understand. You're like, I'm going to get them a pizza party. You're like, okay, cool. But then the ones that are shitty that you're like, fuck, man, like, nah, it's cool. Just give them a raise. They deserve it. Like, that makes no fucking sense to me. Like, it never made no fucking sense. And then if I've been there 6 years and this new guy comes in, he's getting paid the same or more than me because he's the new guy. Like, how come you couldn't just pay me that money? I know the system. I know everything. I'm here every day. You know what I'm saying? And then that's why I say loyalty doesn't mean shit nowadays.
No.
Especially when I could just replace you and pay someone else with your salary.
Yes, you're right.
Pay you less.
And
That's
the whole idea of
be
hiring
more convenient.
immigrants in this country.
That'd be more convenient to my business than keeping you around.
Yeah, and I understand that. Like, you're allowed to do that as a business. I understand. Morally, is it right? Maybe not. But
I don't care about morals.
I mean,
I care about ethics.
You
It's
can't
just
pay
not
the
right. It's not
ethics.
fair.
You can't pay the
well,
bills
that's what
morals.
I'm saying. Like, that isn't.
But
to
what
me, that
about?
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but that's just like a way people are going into one avenue. There's people who make like an online business selling paper plates, selling like making 4K a month, and they live in Mexico. Like they basically does it online, and they're not even here anymore,
No, I
and they're
think
paying
it's
for their
also
rent for like
alternatives.
$500.
It's alternatives of how to make
Yeah.
more money. There is alternatives.
Me and my
I think
wife are
right
looking
now-
at probably, right now we're looking at buying a piece of property around here, but if things go kind of south, we're looking at it like that.
So,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of expat communities, people who used to live here that now live in there. They only speak English. Same thing they say about Thailand. They say about all these places, but
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Well,
Costa Rica's gotten so bad
They're-
because of it. It's fucking their fucking money's almost as valuable as ours now.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like, the reason out of state is it's fear. It's fear of what the America's gonna do when shit hits the fan. Because we are so calm, we are so we're so sheltered. Think about it. You think about third world countries that you've never been there, you've never seen that, but you see a commercial, you're like, oh, I'm gonna send them money. Like, okay, but why wouldn't you go there to help them personally? Why wouldn't you bring them in? Like, this is my problem with like current activists nowadays. They say they want to do stuff, but to them, posting it is like them doing something, physically doing something,
Protesting,
yeah, instead of going out
digitally
there,
protesting, all this stuff.
because most of our the protesters that I know, they were out there doing something.
Yeah.
They weren't just
John Lewis types,
Yeah,
Bernie Sanders.
Cesar Chavez. We got several. Rosa Parks. Like, they were doing shit.
Yeah.
They were doing shit. Now it's like, oh well, I feel bad about this thing. I'm gonna post about it and bitch about it for hours with somebody, and then when someone comments something I don't like, I'm gonna argue with them. Like, that's not doing anything. That's just literally you're stating there's a problem, but you're not coming up with the solution.
Yeah.
And I feel that's how everybody sees the U.S. right now. We're allowed to bitch. We're allowed to say whatever the fuck we want because we're big ass bullies. But if you go down to it, if I'm gonna fight someone from a third world country, they understand what it is to fight to survive. I understand to fight just to fight. Like, there's no need for me to fight. Everything is super easy for us now. And that's why everybody's leaving the States. Because when you go to a third world country or a different state, you understand that what we deal with isn't shit. What people deal around with the world, like actual people getting killed all the time, like India, bro. How do you run over a person and you can't like help them? You just walk right past them, and they stay there for weeks, months, and like,
Dude, it's like how I grew up. My dad was really dark. He was Hispanic guy, Italian mix. I came out strawberry blonde with blue eyes almost. Eyes darkened up, my hair darkened up.
Yeah.
He raised me, no, you're going to be white. You're white. You don't have anything else in you. You're white. You tell everybody you're white. He almost got killed outside of a bar. They left him for dead. He crawled underneath the bar and was underneath there for about 2 weeks. Crawled out. He was in the hospital for 6 months. I found out when I was 8 years old, rubbing all over his head, and found all these giant lumps from where he had fucking beat him with baseball bats until they thought he was dead. He just don't fucking die. That was him, So, but the actual term, and I'm going to use it because, God damn it, that's what they used and that's how they fucking acted, and it's fucking wrong and it's a fucking terrible word. They said they were going to beat this nigger to death because he was dancing with white women. And that's how my dad explained it to me, and that's how I'm going to explain it to anybody else.
Yeah. That's great. And then, like
it fucking fires me up.
It's modern day stuff like this. To me, it's like that's racist. It's racist. To me, that's just a joke now because you don't understand real racism.
No, that was real racism. What my dad went through.
Really involved. And
that's what they want to bring back.
I mean, to experience something like that, you understand that it hits you at the core of who you are. Because you're like I said, dude, he was dancing with white women, cool, whatever. But someone got offended, obviously, because they were
couple good old boys in Texas.
Yeah, like they were told that was wrong. They were told that was wrong. Well, why is it wrong? Like, why didn't you go look? To me, racism is ignorance. Ignorance to understand different stuff, different cultures, respect, and stuff like that. And when someone says, "Well, you're being racist," and you know, where we work, dude, I hear it a lot.
And I wanted to punch that dude in the mouth so fucking bad the other night. God, and I don't want to fucking fight nobody, man. Yeah. You know me. I might go after somebody, but I don't fucking beat them up. I might choke them a little bit, but I ain't beating on their head, man. That's bad for your brain. And I ain't doing that to nobody if I can help it. Well, damn, man, I want to crush that motherfucker. I want to smash him.
It's an ignorant thing. Yes, he was intoxicated. He was speaking his mind.
All of them were like that, though. All of them were spouting this fucking stuff. More than likely, half of the people in this community, 20% of the people in this community are going to be having some type of serious repercussions because of the fucking policies that have been fucking forced, because these assholes decided to vote for somebody that was a racist, misogynist prick. And they like him because of it. And that's honest to God truth.
Dude, I've seen racism like maybe once in my life where I realized like I'm in a situation where this is bad, where like I'm probably not going to get out of it. But it was one time, and it's like when people use it, to me, it's like, dude, you think you're not getting into a bar. Like, how is this racist? Like, how is this actually affecting the culture of the whole race? Like, you know, like, because, like, it's mostly just African Americans that always tell me, like, oh, like, it's because I'm black. And I'm like, there's black people in here already. Like, what are you talking about? You don't have the right ID, you don't have, you know what I mean? Like, for whatever reason, you know.
They throw up that race card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, oh, well, you're being racist. Like, dude, like, I have mixed kids. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, or like I grew up like, you know, in an all black neighborhood. Like that's just how we grew up. You know what I mean?
I grew up in a black neighborhood. My dad was Hispanic. My mom was white. She liked Hispanic guys. I like black women. I'm with a native. I don't give a fuck about race.
Yeah, like I said,
I stopped caring about race after I went to prison.
It's usually like,
which is the opposite of most people.
Everybody's like, oh well, I can't be racist because everybody's racist.
Everybody's racist. I'm racist. You're racist. Yeah. He's racist. We're all racist. How racist are you? And what are you racist about? And when you notice it, what do you do about it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, dude, like there's certain stereotypes that some people do fit into, and you know,
hey man, I catch myself fucking looking at other Hispanics that throw up that race shit a lot of time. Fucking wet back. What the fuck are you doing, dude? You're dead fucking people.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, I do it jokingly. I definitely do like that. You know what I mean? But like I said, dude, it's a different era. If shit hits the fan, people are gonna fall like that. They're gonna fall like that. And like I said, dude, like you've never done. I mean, you come from Louisiana. I mean, from what I understand, like, there's not a lot of shit there. It's pretty much survival.
The welfare is, you know how to hunt, fish, man. It got all kind of shit out there to go get.
I mean, dude. That's crazy,
what it is, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, you see them crawfish pasta, crawfish spaghetti, crawfish biscuits. They make
we farm the fucking
catfish,
swamp.
Yeah, catfish.
We farm the swamp.
soup, steak, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And then they're like, oh, well, if you ever eat a fucking possum or a fucking raccoon, and I'm like, dude, that's
Owl
crazy.
sucks. It don't have no meat.
Well, dude, like I said, like, that's crazy. And then here, like, I hear people like, you ever tried javelina? Yeah, I've had javelina. It's a fucking tough fucking skin to chew. I'll tell you that, fucking meat to chew. But if I had to eat it to survive, yeah, I'm gonna eat that shit.
I know how to cook it.
Yeah, but
You slow cook that shit for a couple of days. Let it fall apart.
Dude, that's a tough ass skin.
Oh,
But I'm saying, like, eventually
you've had, the cabeza, the cheek meat, right? That shit's tough as fuck, right? That shit fucking melts like butter in my mouth, man.
that's the cookie before I gotta cook it.
Yeah, I put that shit on. I got an electric stove. I put it on about 2.5, maybe 3. I let it sit there for about 3.5 hours. Turn it down to low. Let it sit there for another 2 hours. Put it on some rice. Oh man, some potatoes. Man, that shit's good as fuck.
Yeah, right. But no, like I said, it's crazy to think
But you do the same thing. It just,
No.
It's
Well, I remember
it's all about how you prepare it and cook
I
it.
have was my dad would pigeons. He would boil them, take the feathers off, boil it for like another few more hours. He would make a stew out of the pigeons. And he was like, "You want to eat pigeon?" And I'm like, "No." Like, what?
It's called squab.
Yeah, but then I realized, like, you know what? If it comes down to it, I will eat a fucking pigeon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to cook it.
People always go, "Oh, pigeons! This terrible bird! This terrible bird! This terrible bird." The reason why the pigeon is the way it is it's a completely domesticated, rewild bird.
Yeah.
It started out like something like a dove, and we domesticated. That's why it can't make a fucking nest.
I mean, shit.
And then it fucking got back out into the wild, and we stopped fucking with squab because all of a sudden we're 6 foot tall and 250 pounds instead of 5'4" and 112. We needed more food. All of a sudden our turkeys are this big though, but we stopped eating a squab. That was just too, man, maybe for a kid or something. For lunch.
I remember that shit was crazy, dude. Like,
You're eating light.
but I mean, like, I remember going to my grandma giving the chicken and hey, like, check this out, and fucking swinging the chicken by the neck and then slamming it on the floor and then killing it.
Yeah.
And then, but it's like, people don't understand. Like, that's crazy shit. I've seen when they kill the pig.
Every time somebody talks about wringing the neck of a chicken or any kind of fowl like that, I always remember one time I was standing on the porch and I started wringing this chicken, and my dad just kind of turned around and walked right into it, and that shit was going everywhere. Motherfuckers, don't do that shit over on top of me.
Bursted everywhere. No, but that's shit's crazy. Like, you've never, I don't know. I don't remember my dad skinning a deer. You remember that? Okay, yeah. So I remember seeing that shit and then, like, that's the inside of a deer. Like, if you're not used to that, you're not going to be able to do that.
And if you did that, you respect animals more.
Yeah,
you would respect your food more. Like a lot of not nature or Indians, they would always pray to their food because.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, "Well, I'll go out here and kill a rattlesnake." Like, do you understand the amount of meat on a rattlesnake is near none?
And do you understand that the amount that you're getting because it's 4 foot long or 5 foot long took fucking 20 years to get there?
Yeah.
You fucking prick. It was keeping the fucking rodents down.
The amount of energy you're going to use to try to catch that rattlesnake, you're not going to get back from the rattlesnake. You're going to have to eat like 6 or 7 rattlesnakes to get that energy back.
Same thing with the hare. They don't have no fat on them either.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, think about, like, you see jackrabbits here, you see squirrels here, bunny rabbits here. That's what you're going to have to hunt here. Mostly, that's probably going to be only available,
especially in the deserts.
And the occasional javelina, where you went up in the mountains and you got one little deer.
But you think
because they're not like the deer in fucking Michigan. If there's no agriculture going on, guess what? Your deer go from fucking a 200-pound animal, 240-pound dressed out kind of animal, down to like 110-pound fucking dressed out animal, maybe, and they're going to be rare. because everybody's eating them.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. That's how I work out now. When I go work out, I work out 2-3 hours. I exhaust my body just because that's how our ancestors did it. Be out all day, fucking hunting, whatever, doing whatever they got to do. Then I try to eat as little as possible. But when I eat, I do eat hardly, just like anybody's really starving.
All right. I'd like to talk about something that's kind of personal to me. And you know about it. I have liver disease. And a lot of people in America have it and don't realize it. Basically, it's just being overweight. But non-alcoholic steatohepatitis is the name, or MASH, the metabolic one. They've done this to us. These rich people have done this to us. That's what I've found. Mm-hmm. And they took the stuff out of our foods that promoted gut health because they knew they could turn it into a profit. The reason why people are sick is food. The reason why autism exists is food. I don't talk about it with my wife too much because she gets too emotional about it because we have a daughter that's autistic. It's from a previous relationship, but this kid's been in my life for 12 years now. And the more, the better the diet you can get them into, the better. But they're not right because they're good, and they're starting to find this out.
I mean, it's something we've talked about before in former podcasts. We talked about fasting, stuff like that. Diabetes. I've talked to with a lot of people. Now that have diabetes type 3, which is Alzheimer's, and you know what I mean. That it's basically just over sugaring your blood, and it's over cortisol. It's a lot of shit.
The way we think of ourselves as singular and individual is wrong. We are not a single individual. We are a complex multi-cell organism, but we're more than even that. Mitochondria is a different thing. It wasn't originally part of us, but it got into a cell a couple billion years ago, and all of a sudden it's in there. We got other things like that, though, where we are in these symbiotic relationships with this bacteria in our gut. And
not because you brought that up.
And the fiber that I'm eating has, the more research I've done on it, there's not a lot of human study evidence, but there is a tremendous amount of rodent study evidence that says dextrin, which is the soluble fiber that I'm eating, when I buy it at Walmart, them billionaire cocksuckers, but they're the cheapest ones I can get it from. So it's just their wheat fiber powder. It ferments into butyrate. Butyrate does two things. One, it works at about, if you're taking it the way they tell you to take it, it works about 1/20th the level of Ozempic. I don't eat it at that level.
Yeah. No,
I eat it at 56 grams of that shit a day or more. And it does amazing shit.
You've lost a little bit of weight from that too.
I've lost quite a bit of weight, lost about 50 pounds. But it's reversed my stage 3 with scarring liver disease all the way back to between 1 and 2 in 6 months.
And I've told you that I need to buy some. I haven't bought it.
And butyrate does that. Yeah. Butyrate fixes your liver. Yeah. It calms the liver cells down. It acts as an anti-inflammatory. It seals the leaky gut so that less endotoxins come into the body through the that one vein. It stops letting all this stuff happen that is killing us. You cannot eat meat, period, if you don't have this bacteria producing butyrate without having serious fucking health problems. Diabetes. Diabetes is caused by meat. It's not sugar, it's the meat. It causes the endotoxins that damage the pancreas, that starts getting where your body can't metabolize all this shit. The sugar and the fat from hog and from like corn go in and ravage the liver, ravage the pancreas. Yeah. I eat a ton of it now. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me sick anymore. Nothing. But I have to eat the fiber all day long. I have to keep that bacteria producing the butyrate so that they're not eating the meat and the fats in the meat and producing these endotoxins.
Yeah. I mean, my brothers talked about it to me a lot too. Obviously, we eat more fruit.
Yeah.
Than we do like vegetables and meat and stuff like that. I'm not thirsty anymore. I'm not always hungry anymore. Prolonged fasting.
It's because you have the nutritional stuff going on in the bacteria in your gut to promote that.
Right. Fiber is the key thing to perfect gut health. Right. I mostly get my fiber from fruits, but I eat a shit ton of fruits. I realize that when I do eat certain meats, like chicken, I can eat all day. It's processed, I'll shit it out quick, whatever. Red meat.
I'm reversing the scarring in my liver.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, dude. I mean, I have
the fibrosis.
I have
the collagen in there. It's nibbling away. It's all going away.
That's crazy. And this is why, like, I tell people, like, find natural ways to do shit. Just find natural ways to do shit.
Well, just keep in mind, like, back in the day, we are cavemen, so we are descendants of cavemen. So there was never, like, a Pepsi river, so don't drink Pepsi. Yeah. There's never a hot Cheeto bush, so don't eat hot Cheetos.
Yeah,
you want to eat stuff that's closer.
If you're going to eat that stuff, great. That's great. When you eat nuts, go ahead and eat the shells then.
Buy the shells.
Eat the shell. Don't buy them shelled. Eat the shell. The reason why is because then they don't taste good. Grind them into a powder and drink them down right quick. Do something with them, but get them in. Because them fuckers, they were eating the whole fucking thing. All right? We're more selective. We have better dexterity and nimbleness. There's 250,000 years sometimes between some of us and them. Okay? It's hard to fucking do stuff when you don't have that much gray matter in your fucking muscle. You know? Like, so they just ate the whole fucking thing.
Bread is not something that we should eat. It's only been like 5 years, whatever. Yeah. And it's something that we've introduced.
No, 12. We've had it for around about 12,000 years. Yeah. Stable. We had pre-agriculture before that, and we've been doing that for probably 250,000 years. So we had grains coming into us, but this, you gotta understand, man, it's not, grain ain't bad for us in certain amounts.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
dude, you can go to the store and get, for $50, you can get enough bread to fucking kill 3 people, man.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You go to McDonald's, you get a Big Mac. It's bread, meat, bread, meat, bread. It's a little slice of meat. It's a big piece of bread. Mm-hmm. Or you go to fucking KFC, whatever. It's breaded chicken.
And most of stuff that we get is corn.
Yeah.
Like there's like semolina and different things and rice down here, and then you got wheat and it's up here, and then you got corn and it's up there by the ceiling some fucking place, maybe higher. And I'm not joking you, man. That's the difference in the level of production on corn to everything else. And the reason why is because we feed it to all the animals. We feed it to us. And then we make stuff out of it. And the stuff that we get out of making stuff, the byproducts off of it, we put that into our soda.
You make cereal, you make...
And everything turns into sugar. But because it's so highly processed. And that's kind of a good thing, because the corn's so genetically modified that you can't eat it.
If you notice, it doesn't process the gut.
Yeah, when you eat it, you'll poop it right out.
I used to grow cubensi mushrooms, little golden cubensis, magic ones, and I grew them on brown rice, organic brown rice. And the reason why is they've taken some genetics from something else and they put it into the corn genetics. And what it does is it changes the protein enough and the carbohydrate enough that of the wheat, of the corn germ and the actual the cellulose and the everything else about it. It changes it enough so that it's antibacterial and it's antifungal. Antibacterial and antifungal. I tried to grow 50-pound bags of corn. I tried to grow, it just turned into slime. It didn't do anything. It didn't even decompose. It just stayed there and just turned into gunk. And normally you end up with this mycelial sheath that covers the entire thing, that the fibers go through the entire thing. I'd get a microscope out and try to look and see what's going on. And this stuff just looked like putrid mess, like nothing was working. And it was just like it's just decomposing at a different kind of level. You know what I mean? Like stuff's just breaking down because it's breaking down, not because something's acting on it. And it was gross. So that's what's going on when you eat corn. So don't eat corn.
Aside from
It's
that,
not food.
the food pyramid that's been taught to you as a kid, if you guys
That don't work.
it's actually wrong. The lady who was the head house, lady who was the house, like the chief, when they were making that pyramid, she made a whole different pyramid. And then it was paid for by a company for her to do that research. And before they let out the results,
They changed all that because that wasn't going to fucking work for them.
They let the corporations into what the list was. So now milk paid their way into the pyramid. So did bread pay their way into the pyramid.
Well, we were always told milk builds strong bones. It makes strong bones. It helps.
So does broccoli.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing. We're not supposed to drink milk from a cow. We're supposed to drink milk from our mother's titty. That's the milk you're supposed to be drinking.
And then about 2 years, 3 years old, your body doesn't have the enzymes anymore, and it doesn't have the bacteria anymore to process it. They die off.
So going back to what he was saying is like they killing you with the food, but more on top of that, on layers above that, they're keeping the information of letting you know that, first of all. So they're withholding information, giving you the poison, and on top of that, selling you the solution, which is medication. Doesn't work either. So they're making.
If you look at
money.
the shareholders that own all the stocks, and there's only 5 companies that that feed us. Kroger's, Albertsons, all that shit. No. Del Monte, no. There's 5 companies in the U.S. that produce all the food, and they sell it to all those other companies, and it's crazy. I used to work at a pickle factory. Same cucumbers come in from the same fields, the same vinegar goes in the same jars, different label. Aunt Millie's Pickles. But they made stuff for all kind of different companies. And yeah, the recipe might be a little different on how they put stuff in the jar or what they put it in the jar, but that's it. That's why it tasted different. It's not like, oh, it's not like it's made it a better place or made a better way.
Yeah.
You're just paying more because that company wanted a better profit. You know, and some companies go, okay, we'll take the cheapest garbage and we'll just sell that. That'd save a lot. You know, they're preying on the poorest echelon of our society. All this food costs about the same amount. None of it's any higher or lower for the most part. It really isn't.
I mean, like I said, people don't understand how economy works.
Or how business works, or how the how the companies work,
And this
Kind of
is
like
or where their food comes from, or where their pipes come from.
I'm talking about it's kind of like religion, where you're born into it. Like we're born into these beliefs, so no one even questions it because that's just the way it is. And then if you question it, you're the one that's. It's all like that. It's
Oh, yeah.
the exact same way.
Oh yeah, and then they ostracize you. Trust me, I've been ostracized all my life for that shit.
Yeah, that's why I say I believe in higher power. I don't believe in organized religion. But it's crazy to think how people are programmed to think.
Yes.
This is why I say like you're not understanding what's going on. Your ignorance is bliss. Yes, okay, cool. But once you open your eyes and you see what's going on,
I'm telling you, ignorance is bliss, man.
You can live life.
Yes.
You can live life.
The Matrix is crazy.
Because I mean, like right now, dude, I'm not
Matrix.
worried.
You know who I'm jealous of?
Who?
Down syndrome kids.
Damn.
Happiest motherfuckers on earth.
That makes sense.
They have all kind of fun. I've worked with them before. They're great. They're great people, man.
Well, we have a nephew.
I mean, look, I'm a smart guy, but I would trade at this point in my life. Me and my wife just turned into Down syndrome kids and fucking went off and been homeless and just out in the fucking desert someplace. We could survive like that. You know? I mean, if any other ape can do it, we're just another ape.
I just like I said, my nephew's cool. He's cool as hell. There's certain different kinds of down, like there's the sheltered down kids and there's the down kids that where they were treated normal. He was the kid that was treated normal. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
How do you function though?
But he's so cool. Has no worry in the world. Every time I see him, what's up, Theo? And like, he ain't scared. He doesn't care. He just living life. And I'm like, dang, dude, this dude's got it. Like, he just And it's true. It's.
I worked at a company called Beacon Group. They had this one particular project that they do for some air company, some aeronautical company, right? And they make a part. And one of their things that they point to and say, we produce less defected parts with a handicapped workforce than other companies with a non-handicapped workforce.
I mean, it comes down to
they produced a better product.
This is
I believe you.
This is why I believe why it happens is because they have no worries. When you have no worries, you're not worried about
what she thinks. You're not worried about what clothes you're going to buy.
What am I going to do after work, or if Stephanie or Philip have issues with me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're worried about getting the task done. Okay, cool. I have to go here a certain amount of time. I have to do my work, and then when I'm done, I can do whatever I want. That's all you think about. But when like a regular person or normal person, whatever you want to call it, goes to work, you got to think about all the little side things. About, oh man, I wonder how fucking so and so's gonna act today. I wonder how the manager's gonna be today. I wonder if I'm gonna have a good today. I wonder if they're gonna have my favorite sandwich. Like, you're worried about so many useless things that you don't need to worry about. And that's to me that's the key of having a decent life.
It changed my perspective working with them. Not about them, but about life in general. I stopped worrying a lot.
Yeah.
Because I flip-flop back and forth for a little while, but nowadays I don't worry about shit.
Well, that's the thing too, because like I don't. I'm getting older. I'm realizing that I don't care what people think about me. Regardless, they're like, "Oh, you're always in gym clothes. You're always like." I can dress nice. I can look decent. I can look like I'm made of $1,000,000. But that's not my persona. That's not who I am.
If it was up to me, I'd wear a loincloth and a smile and a pair of fucking sandals.
Yeah.
And doing good or do bad, something always has been the
Maybe a
same.
hat.
Yeah.
Something to keep the sun out of my eyes, you know?
Sombrero.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
No shirt, big hat,
like when
no shirt, no
people-
fucking pants,
people meet Arlo,
sandals.
I'm sure they see him, nails painted, hair colored, and they're like, okay, well, look at this dude. Like, he's an older dude who has his hair colored. But you start talking to him like, this dude's cool as fuck. He's fucking smart as fuck. Like, fuck, dude, you know what I mean? And then they see me, they're like, look at this big ass dark dude. Like, he looks like he'll fucking kill you or whatever. I don't know, whatever they perceive.
A lot of people get a little bit nervous around people that are darker in color and bigger.
And then they talk to me, and they're like, damn, this guy's like super chill, super cool. Like, it's appearances. You know what I mean? It's always appearances. Whatever.
And people always judge by a cover.
Yeah, and then it's like,
I try to make myself look softer. Like if I shave my head and dress the way I like, everybody's fucking terrified around me all the time.
yeah.
And I don't like that. So I had to soften my appearance because it was like, especially in a college bar, all these fucking little sheltered children, you know, from the Midwest and shit coming in here. And then you got other people that are coming in from with their cultures from all over the world.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to look kind of like a festive older uncle or something that, you know, camp counselor Arlo, as Rilo likes to call me.
But I mean, like I said, dude, it's funny because it keeps us young. It's crazy to say that youth keeps us young. I get that I'm working with guys half my age.
I'm working with my children's fucking age kids or younger.
But
younger.
It makes you feel young. Like it keeps me like.
Yeah. I forget
like,
I'm this
you know
old.
what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know you feel it, dude. The testosterone right there is like, it's there. You feel it, and that's what keeps you youthful. That's what keeps you like, okay, cool, dude. Like, I know I can still do this. I can still keep up with these kids. Like, you know, like this past week.
Like the two fastest guys there doing the busing is me and Joe.
Yeah.
And he's like my son's age.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, like me being able to carry someone out or kick them out or still go at it, you know, like I still have it. Like, okay, cool. Am I going to lose it? Yes, I eventually understand I'm going to lose it. But right now, if I can still keep up with the younger kids, because I mean, dude, even though now that I'm like,
if you at your age, if you can get a handle on this diabetes thing for here on out, keep your the bacteria in your gut going the way they're going with the fiber you're eating. It's working for you. Don't change nothing if that's the case. Go for it. But keep your diabetes the way it is with the lower A1C. Work on your fucking liver and get that fucking thing cleared up some more because I know you had a little bit of fatty liver problems.
Kidneys, adrenals.
If you can get some of that stuff sorted out and just keep the weight off you and keep moving around with these fucking kids like we are, dude, it's this steady plateau out until the end, and then it does that.
A little personal. When I was at my worst with my diabetes, like erectile dysfunction is a real fucking thing. Bro.
Yeah,
that shit sucks. I don't give a fuck. Like I've heard that there's like kids with it, you know, like 21-year-olds, whatever, older guys, whatever. It happens to a lot of people. It happens. Okay, it's something people don't talk about. But when I got my shit in check, like my shit came back to like when I was like 18, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like this is crazy. But it's just like it's true. You have to keep your health in check. You have to keep it.
Hey man, when I found out alcohol, like I knew alcohol was bad for my mental health. I knew alcohol was bad for my liver. I knew alcohol was bad for this. I knew alcohol was bad for that. But when I found out that it contributed to ED, I cut it out of my life.
And the thing is, I don't want to say like okay. So
I used that as a positive and said, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do that no more. And I realize now, looking back, that's why I did that. Back then, I didn't realize I did that. I just on an autopilot all the time.
Alcohols that have some, but it's not like it's not the processed beer that you do. It's like the ales.
or the wine.
Or the
Wine.
wine.
And we're talking
Vodka, tequila,
we're
shit,
talking
that's
about
not a-
like 8 ounces of beer or like 3 ounces of wine, like twice a week or twice a month or something. Very small amounts having marginal benefits.
And that's the problem people don't understand is like, because like
Not getting wasted.
You've seen on the weekend, man, they come, they buy a fish bowl, they're buying like 7, 8 beers, and it's like, you don't need to be drinking that much. That's overindulging, you know what I mean? Because you're going to get the alcohol that your liver can handle, but your body's going to take most of that, and that's why you get drunk.
And
You know,
just wasted and
Yeah,
hurting the next
Which
day.
brings us
And
back to they're not informing you, withholding information, providing you the substances to kill yourself, and then giving you the solution to pay for it in the future.
yeah,
Well, because now you have the, what is it?
It's like a long-term business model.
there's a new drug. There's new drugs. I shouldn't say a drug. There's new drugs coming out for fatty liver disease, for non-alcoholic and alcoholic hepatitis forms, right? There's stuff coming out that is going to be like Ozempic and tirzepatide and some of the other.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
Did you guys hear about the South Korean scientist team who got the cure to cancer? I know there's cures of cancers already, but they have an official medical lab tested.
They came out with something here a while back. It was an mRNA, like similar to like a vaccine thing, but they give it to you and they treat you with it over a period of a little while. And what it does is it goes in and activates certain things in your body, and your body just fights it off like it's any other disease.
Well, it's the same thing with peptides. Peptides, they found out they can cure muscles, like scar tissue. They can cure like muscles that lose tendons.
You know where all this information's coming from, right?
Yeah.
It's coming out of fucking Korea and fucking Japan.
Yeah.
Like Japan's got a fucking back in September they were doing human trials on fucking regrowing teeth.
Yeah. And they even done like I said, stem cells. That's why they stuck the stem cell.
Which again isn't new. They
didn't do that in Japan.
Yeah.
They got little clinics. Like there's a guy that I watch on YouTube. He's one of my science guys, man. He does a lot of astrophysics stuff. Anyway, he said one of his friends needed knee replacement surgery, and because they're so young, they were going to need like 2, maybe even 3 knee replacements in their lifetime. And they went to Japan, and for relatively a small amount of money, they had some stem cell treatment therapy done on their knee, and now it works better than their other knee.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. It is insane.
Works better than their other knee.
It's crazy.
That's true.
Because it's science is coming into sci-fi. Like science is really catching up. And
that brings me to the automation.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're really trying to close it. Like they're trying to keep it quietly niche because they don't want people to realize it, because they realize they're going to lose a lot of fucking. Insurance companies are going to lose money because everybody's going to want these treatments.
Well, it's more than that.
Drugs that actually exist now.
Well, they got like basically they got a cure for fucking AIDS now with this last fucking PrEP drug that they came out with. Back when I used to do stupid stuff and go out and mess with girls and stuff, I'd get PrEP. It's a combination drug, usually. The one I got about, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. Then you, like a lot of people would go out and use it without using protection. I always use protection. I just didn't want to catch AIDS. But that was crazy. And now this new stuff protects you like if I was having sex with my wife and I have AIDS and I had this drug, it would lower, if we're both taking the drug, excuse me, it would lower the amount of viral infection in me to the point where I couldn't transmit it.
That's crazy.
And because she's taking it, there would be no initial infection.
Yeah. No, I mean they're letting people be known these technologies are out there. It's just
It's insane.
big corporations trying to keep it quiet because they don't want. that information.
It'll
It's been going
come.
on forever. Like he said, eventually, like he said, like
It's not even new.
But if everybody starts living forever,
the pharmacy owns,
if everybody starts living forever,
well, the pharmacies own the insurance companies. The insurance company earns the groceries. You know what I mean? It's all like one owns the other. It's all just a circle going around, and they're just profiting. And it's crazy thing. I mean, dang, bro, you make me think a lot. No,
well, I'm looking at automation right now. What is it? Google just fired 10,000 people.
yeah.
Because of automation, because of Chat GPT, because of Grok, because of Perplexity, and all the other ones.
This is the.
I don't like Gemini, because it is. It is too. It's got locks, nuts and bolts to lock it down so that it can't say certain things. You can get it back into a corner really well and force it into that corner, and it'll fucking shut down on you. But there's certain things it just refuses to talk about. And when I say refuse, like, it won't give you wealth of what any of the top 100 billionaires, or give me a list of all the billionaires in the US. It won't do it. It won't give me the median, the average income of an American person. It wouldn't do that. It would give me the mean, but it wouldn't give me the median average. It would not, give me the median average. It wouldn't give me the mean average. The median average is you count from one to the other side and go, okay, there's this many people, find out the exact center, and that's the middle person, right? And go, okay, that's what the middle of the road makes. And that's not true. What mean average is, you add all these up, you take the number of people and you divide it by that, and you end up with the average mean income of the people of America. And what that turns out to is an individual per household is around $62,000 per year. And I don't know anybody that makes that.
What about couples? Marriage couples?
That's what I'm saying, though. Each person makes $62,000, so that would be $124,000 for a couple. For my 5-person household, it's not really a 5-person. It's 4-person, and then my son comes around on the weekends once in a while.
I've seen the math on that with the government issue that they did, and they had to take it down because they said an average American should make 7,000 K. They're making 50, 40, or even under that.
A household, what they said, the household should make at least 70K.
Yeah. And they're
going, nobody's making that. And they're going, oh, it's still too fucking high? It's still too oh, fuck. The billionaires are making way too much money. Oh, fuck. That's what's going on. And that's what I'm trying to get across, is the average person should be making an average wage of $62,000 a year. Okay? For my 4-person, say 4.5 person, because my son comes over on the weekends and he contributes to the household some. So say 4.5 people, right? So that's $270,000? No. 4 times 6, 240, 240, 270, $270,000. We're not making nowhere near $250,000 between the 5 of us.
Yeah.
We're not making fucking $60,000 a year between the 5 of us.
Yeah. I mean, the way they do it so, like, okay, here's the crumbs. Be happy with that. Being a full love, you're getting crumbs. Yeah.
And what's sad is the rest of the world thinks we live like Elon Musk. So they come over here going, we're gonna fucking get to that point,
Being
and
Mexican growing up, like I remember our cousins was like, "Oh shit, man, you know you got Nikes, you got this, and I'm like, I don't got any of that shit. Man. I'm not living out here. Like it's the image they portray us. It goes back to social media, TV, all that shit.
everybody thinks we're living like that Dolce Gabbana fucking ad that's fucking on the goddamn Vogue magazine.
When you see movies, they see what do you see? Like Californians, New Yorkers,
Hollywood shit.
Miami, Texas, if anything. Those are just different regions,
the extremes
of what they see of America, but they don't see the basic American. Like,
No.
You can see, like, if I think about a show like it's just a reference, Letterkenny. They're the Canadian show. They're like kind of hillbilly types, whatever. They're not hillbilly. They call themselves whatever they call themselves, whatever. But I'm like, is that Canada? Like, is that all Canada? Like, no, that's not all Canada. That can't be. Like,
no.
Obviously, they got rich people, they got poor people, they got middle class, they got whatever. You know, like that's why to me, like I don't take it as its word. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if you see like Mexican shows, like they've shown Mexico City, like they're super famous, cartel rich, whatever, blah blah blah, or they show like super poor motherfuckers. I've seen Mexico; it's not all like that. Yeah, there's a lot of poverty there. Yes, but we're getting to that same state here.
You know, you say that, and all of a sudden I went back to when I was 17 and I was in Tijuana.
Yeah.
My little buddy, he used to say, yeah, I might be American, but my parents are scratchbacks. He said they didn't fucking swim over a river. They crawled under a fence. And he took me to Tijuana. Now, I've been to Tijuana about 3 or 4 times before that. I was 17 years old. He takes me to Tijuana. He was like 18, 19 years old. We get down there, and he takes me to this place, and it's completely blacked out, and there was no fucking hawking guy out there hawking everybody. None of that. Went up there and beat on the door. They opened the fucking thing. So, yeah, 2 of you, yeah, come on in. They shut the door right quick. And all of a sudden, we were in a fucking big-ass nightclub that was 2 stories tall.
Yeah.
And I met a bunch of Mexicans. These were all Mexicans. These weren't Americans. These were all Mexicans. This was their club. We're partying with them. And had these 2 American boys, just running around in there and having fun. And how'd you find out? He said, yeah, man, I come down here once in a while, da da da. And we're hanging out, and I was talking to these 2 girls, and it turned out that they were like Asian. They weren't Mexican, but they had came over for a job and had moved over to Mexico for a job. And I just had so many misconceptions about these people, and and being completely sheltered from any type of Hispanic stuff growing up.
I mean, it's crazy to say. Like I've noticed from my little brother. My little brother talks to everybody, anybody, all the time. We found in California. We found little hidden gems in neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And my experience was when I went to like California. Like definitely, I was in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Cypress, Laguna, all these areas you're not supposed to be in, where they tell you to avoid as a tourist.
That's where I was at, all those places.
Yeah.
I was in the Navy there.
But I'm talking about like it's only who you know and how you show respect. And shout out to DeBessie and fucking Randy, the homies who took me out there. It's crazy when you go to somewhere you've never been to, you don't know the culture, you don't know the history,
and you have these misconceptions and these preconceptions.
And then you go and you see it's nothing of what you. It's eye opening.
Yes.
Because like if I said, dude, if I go to anywhere like the South, I'm expecting to see just nothing. Honestly, I don't know what I expect. I expect to see like swamps, people like in overalls or underwear. Like I have my of what I think
there is some places like that.
Yeah.
There's other
I'm
places.
sure there is.
There's other places
But
just like
I'm
here.
not saying I'm not like
The only thing
Tennessee,
different.
dude, I'm not going to go to Tennessee. That's not what I'm going to see.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to see buildings, cars, people in suits, regular clothes.
Yeah, they're going to be just like here. The only difference is the scenery.
Yeah, and then I said,
They're not. If you're in Tennessee, you're going to see mountains. If you're Louisiana, you won't. If you're here, you will, but you see desert.
Mhm.
There's a lot of green in Tennessee. There's no green here.
Exactly. That's what, like when you go to a different town, different state, whatever. What I'm trying to say is like, I don't want to go where all the tourists go.
Yes.
I want to go where all the locals go because that's where you're going to find the hidden gems. You're going to find the good food, the good people. You know what I mean? And then obviously you're going to find some shitty people because shit happens.
Yeah, and then you need to be able to handle. That's what the other thing I was going to say. You need to be able to handle yourself if you go in those places, because you are walking into somebody else's house. Be careful walking up and opening up their fridge. They might take offense. You walk into some fucking buddy's fucking neighborhood and you glance at the wrong thing, you might get smoked for that. I mean, I'm sorry.
Goes back to when you were saying people don't see. They see the major cases, like the shows that you see on TV. You'll see Hollywood, you'll see New York, you'll see bigger cities, Florida, Miami, the whole vibe. But no one sees the average America just living in like butt wherever, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But the reason why I bring it up is because like recently they had that app that they have now, the Red Note, which is a great communication between U.S. and China, and they were tripping out on the culture differences. They're like, you pay how much for an ambulance? Our healthcare is free. Like they get to see how we really live. And America got to see how they really live, and they were like, they're not paying for anything. Like it's not the same as over here. They think it was cheap, how ghetto, like just farmers in China, and now they see world technology advanced, like cities and
but
big old
very advanced cities.
They're very advanced. But we wouldn't have saw that unless we had the average person's view.
And it's stuff people heard of. But I'm saying, like, they probably pay a shit ton of taxes to have that for insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't know what they do with it. Saying, like, it's free. In Canada, it's the same thing. Everything, insurance is free, everything. But the thing you hear most Canadians saying is that the taxes we pay for that free insurance is really shitty. But everybody gets the same amount of treatment. And I'm like, kind of sucks because if you're overpopulated, everybody can go to the hospital for everything. It kind of sucks, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys are getting, you got your legs hurt. Here's some Tylenol. All right, get the fuck out of here. Oh shit, you got the same thing. Or here's some Tylenol. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? It's crazy, and we pay for our insurance or whatever, but we're getting a certain amount of treatment.
They don't get the millionaire treatment.
Yeah.
They don't get the $30-50 million guys fucking treatment. Okay. But they also don't get my treatment being on Access in Arizona.
Yeah.
They get more like Aetna.
Yeah.
So if they get cancer, it gets treated. They don't fucking get a prior authorization for every fucking thing that the doctor asked for either.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they do over here.
Yeah.
So it might not be the best care.
Countries, they don't get to shop around for their hospitals.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
you got a shitty doctor? Well, you got a shitty doctor, I guess.
Give or take. Like you said, China, that's cool. They get free fucking insurance, whatever. They got upgraded technology. I think Japan has some of the cleanest streets in the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Singapore has the safest streets in the world.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
But you can also be caned there.
Yeah. There's good and bad in every place you go. Like, I'm not talking shit about
everything.
China. I said.
And exactly, we don't live the average person's experience. Maybe you have that perception.
But it's crazy to see. That's what you said. Because you see, like, China, you see, like, the old school movies with the China and all the railroad workers. Oh, yeah, China, like, it's so fucking, like, it's a bigotry of how they treat
Yes.
But you go there, and they're like you said, like, they have, like, Japan has the Cholo culture. Like, they're taking a whole different culture from somebody, and they're like, oh, shit, we like it so much that we're going to do it. And that's fucking amazing to me. That means that that's what culture is. It's sharing information, sharing different stuff like that.
Trade or die, man. Trade or die.
Wants to do. Like, yeah, dude,
we don't trade our information. We don't trade our genes. We fucking die off.
You see what I'm saying? And then, like I've seen Black Vikings. That doesn't offend me. That's cool that person liked your shit so much that they want to they wanted to
emulate it.
Yeah, but that's amazing. Cool. Oh shit, man! I saw the Aztec. I saw Apocalypto. I want to be an Aztec. That's fucking cool, dude. Be a fucking Aztec like my cousin, man. I'm fucking want to be a ninja. I make fun of him for it. Dude, cool. Do you want to be a ninja? I mean, he was very athletic at one point. Like, you know, JJ, like, he left. But, you know what I mean? Like, he was really into that lifestyle. Like, I'm going to be a fucking ninja. I'm a minimalist. I can do this and that. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, he really took off with it. You know, and to me, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, those who try to protect, like, oh, well, my culture is my culture. Like, that's not what it's there for.
Oh.
It's there to share. Like, that's why what I'm saying.
We're
like,
humans. We're all part of this fucking thing, man.
And it's like,
we all are cousins. Dude, we're all family.
Yeah.
Why are we putting each other in boxes? Power and controls. Why? Why do people make billions of dollars? Do they want more stuff? No. Can you buy anything with it? No. Then what's it for? Power and control. Be able to tell you what you can and can't do.
It's an insanity.
Fuck you, Peter Thiel. I just want you to know. I want to be on the record. Fuck you and your South African buddy fucking Elon. Fuck both of you in your ass. I want to fuck you up. I want to fuck you up bad. If you're ever in my presence, not going out of my way. I'm making that statement. I am not going out of my way. That motherfucker's in my presence, I'll fucking make a goddamn exception. Fuck both of them.
What are you saying?
Oh no, like it's crazy. It's funny nowadays. But
I see so much of this shit. These libertarian motherfuckers saying they want liberty for everybody. I found out every single one of the fucking different political parties, they say one thing and they're usually doing the exact opposite. The liberals are always talking about how liberal they are, but really they have all these conservative fucking values. And then you have these conservatives and they're always talking about how they're so conservative, right? And they're GOP and they're Republican. Okay, yeah. But didn't I see you at the strip club? Hey man, why did they fucking crash the Grindr servers when they had the GOP National Convention in fucking Wisconsin or whatever the fuck it was, Milwaukee? You know, I don't really get what's going on, man. Libertarians want to fucking control everybody else's shit. What the fuck, man?
And that's why, like, I always tell people, like, I'm not a leftist or right.
Just want to fucking be left alone. I'm a nihilist. Just leave me alone and let me have my little shit. I don't want much. I don't want nothing almost. Just leave me alone.
It's just a matrix. It's just meant to distract you and get you like riled up to cause separation.
Yes.
And what you want to do is, like you're saying, we're all cousins. We're all united. We're more powerful together, as us together. And
we need a lot more Luigis, though. That's just all there is to it. Oh, we need. There's no way we're gonna vote our way out of this shit. There's no way we're gonna.
The Mario Brothers.
I was like, what?
No. The guy tried to kill him.
Oh, he killed him.
But even then, they said that was like.
He had a fucking clear jam, so he could fucking put another one when he was in the ground. Did a good job. For an untrained fucking assailant.
Well, that's what. I mean, we
job.
talked about it. Like anybody can get touched. Anybody can get touched. No one is untouchable. You might think it. But
I have fantasies all the time about fucking jamming a bunch of rocks and making a giant blunderbuss. In a pipe, just blow it up towards a fucking plane that I don't want to be up there no more.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I have fantasies. I don't ideation. It's nothing else.
How people will talk about like, oh, like
but I do the fucking math.
But like I said, it's crazy how people like they think they're about that life and they're not about that life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. They don't think they can get touched and they can get touched.
That guy was going to a board meeting. They didn't even stop the board meeting for him. That guy blew his brains out and didn't even stop the board meeting for him. He made that fucking company record profits. They were denying fucking every goddamn third claim. And you're telling me you couldn't even stop the fucking board meeting for you?
No, it doesn't matter.
God damn, man.
Because even they say that was planned, but like
even
conspiracy,
poor
that was-
fucking ghetto fucking thugs in the fucking hood, man. We all fucking get together and fucking mourn our fucking dead when one of us gets shot, man. We don't just fucking sit around and go, oh man, we're going to go get the guy or something. But we don't just continue selling the dope on the corner, man. What the fuck? Also, cold-blooded fucking killing machines out there at United Healthcare.
It reminds me of 50 Cent. He's like, I've seen more gangsters in corporate than I have
in the hood. There ain't no fucking gangsters in the hood compared to them fucking. They're all in the fucking goddamn in corporate suits, man.
Yeah. Corporate gangsters.
Corporate gangsters, corporate psychopaths.
Real mob.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about this. Police are not here to protect you. They're to fucking settle little disputes between poor people for rich people.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to protect the rich people. They're not here to protect us. Think about how long have they we had that girl get fucking harassed and fucking assaulted the other night by that little dude, and the police never showed up. Think about that. They're not there for us.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Crazy to see that shit.
And that dude want to shake my hand. I want to take that motherfucker and fuck his mouth after I knocked all his teeth out, man. Fuck him.
Honestly, it was the friend they were with. It was him because he was a piece of shit, and I know it was him because he ran away, and he got away.
I remember him. I remember.
So,
I got him in my fucking little memory bank, so I don't remember nobody's face.
And they're both from Phoenix. They're both from out of town, whatever. Like, I won't go too much detail. I remember he told me that was my sister's boyfriend. I was like, "That's your sister's boyfriend, the one who ran away?" I said, "Yeah." The one who touched the other girl, and he just kind of stayed quiet for a minute there. And I go, "Obviously, your sister makes bad choices. You make bad choices, so maybe you guys should start hanging out with new people." And I told him, like, in Spanish, like Mexican to Mexican, Mexicano to Mexicano, I'll tell you this, like, you should start hanging out with new people. And he just kind of looked at me and he was just like, damn, that's some real shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm telling him. And
that's what you needed to tell him.
And I was like, I'm telling him.
Because he's gonna come up on somebody fucking around some piece of shit like that.
And then that's what I was telling. I was like, look, dude, like, get you upset. You want to go home. We want to go home, but I'm here with you. And the only reason why I'm here with you is because, honestly,
you made bad decisions.
If you went crazy on anybody of my crew, I would have been the one who fucked you up first. And the reason why I'm here is because I'm not here to protect you. I'm here to protect my people. And I put myself in front of everybody else.
Same way I am.
And I go, and you think you're gonna hurt me? You're not gonna hurt me. I'm gonna fuck you up. And he respected that. And I told him straight out, like man to man, bro. I'm being real with you. I was like, but if you chill, dude, you might be able to go home tonight. You just chill, calm the fuck down. And he started to calm down. I told him, I was like, I believe that it wasn't you. I think it was your other homie. Oh, that's my sister's boy. And when he told me that, I was like, obviously you guys are taught. You guys make bad choices. You know? Which I was young. I've made bad choices. But I've learned.
They're figuring it out, man. Them fucking kids just
like,
figure it out. I just get mad.
He was telling, no. The thing was, like, you're right to get mad at that moment because I was pissed off too. But the thing was, like, look, man,
I got kids. They're figuring it out.
He was telling me, I have kids. I have a kid on the way. My mom's gonna beat my ass. My baby mama's gonna get mad at me. I'm gonna go to jail. I'm fucking da-da-da. And I'm like, look, dude. I wish someone would have told me this when I was your age. But pick better people. Make better decisions. Mexican to Mexican, bro. I'm telling you that shit.
Do you notice, like, how many people do you hang out with outside of fucking work? I hang out with you.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right?
I don't hang out with. I don't hang out with everybody else. I don't hang out with that. You ask my wife how many people come over to my house. Like 2 or 3 people come over to my house.
Oh shit!
And not even regularly. You know.
No, but I mean, I understand that because first of all, like we work with a lot of younger people. We're around a lot of college kids, but I have no fucking reason to be out here drinking and acting like half my age for no fucking reason. Like, to
No.
me, it's a job. I go there, work, and I leave. Like, I'm there just to make money. And you know what I mean?
I had like that one cat, Angelo. He was working there, and he got into some personal jams with a couple people there, and I'm like, and one of them said something to me about, I'm like, honey, you need to think about what you're doing. You're at a bar.
Yeah. And
Everybody here has some type of alternative motive reason why they're here.
yeah.
All right.
And like I said,
I know I do. I'm there for my health. I enjoy something for a change when I'm doing it and getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, all right, I'll do it.
It's a lot of moving too. It's a lot of walking around. It's crazy. Because now that I've been able to roam now, I was like, damn, did I miss roaming, dude? You know what I mean? Just walking around, bullshit, talking to people.
My bag's too bad just to fucking stand there like you do at the. I can't do it.
I'll sit down, dude. Sometimes I'll sit down for like
even if I'm sitting on the, I can't. If I'm not in a recliner, if I'm not like I'm in a kind of relaxed position here. If I'm not in this kind of position, even like in a office chair or something, or if I'm not in a capacity where I'm up, moving, and going, I'm in a lot of pain.
I've been stretching a lot more. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I actually have a book on stretching. I went to the library and I was like, "Do you have books on like physique and bodybuilding?" They're like, "Yeah." They sent me to a little section. It's like a little section of just like fitness stuff. And I was like, "You know what? I need to learn how to stretch." So I got a book on it, which is kind of funny because it goes to the part where like you need to learn how to read so you can learn shit. And I'm like, "Fuck, dude! Like I haven't read a book in years, but I started reading it and I was like, oh shit, this is fucking actually good information, shit that I actually need to help with my sciatica and my back and shit." Which is like, that's why I would say recommend you start stretching more.
If you ever see me, I fucking put my one leg over my knee and I do that weird sitting position. That's what I'm doing. I'm stretching my sciatica.
Yeah.
I broke my back.
Shit.
That sucks. That sucks a lot.
It happens. I didn't go to the hospital. Breaking normal, man, been occasion. I just stayed drunk for the month.
For the whole month, damn.
I had a bruise. Went from right here all the way to here, all the way around my back. That wide.
Sucks.
Didn't have insurance. What am I going to go do?
Well, you still could
This is back. I could go, but then I'd have this bill, and then it never goes away.
Never goes away.
Medical bills are like fucking like student loans, man. They just don't go away. You paid it off, right?
No, the college went away.
Oh, I had that one of those too. But otherwise, they don't.
I was really close to finish. I was probably like 3, 4 away from paying it off.
Oh.
And then they did the college forgiveness and stuff. Thank you, Obama. The only right thing you did. Just kidding. But yeah, dude, that shit was a tremendous help. Because then they took it off the credit report and everything, and shot up quick, and I was like, damn, okay. And that's the thing, like
I was hoping when Biden did some of that shit where he did the debt forgiveness for student loans, I was hoping not to be part of that.
It was only for like 10 years or something, 15 years advance. So mine was the first time when Obama did it.
I'll probably die with that debt.
That brings me back to like now they're doing where they cut out people's EBTs and they're cutting out access and stuff like that for people. You have to like show signs that you're working or trying to work or something like that. I'm not sure how the rules is, and I'm like, I'm excited for that because that's money we have to pay.
All right, well, we're at the end of the podcast, guys. This is the season finale for season 5. Thank you for Arlo. Probably the second reoccurring person other than She-Hulk that he'd be coming on the podcast, and he's always sharing crazy shit with us. And it's always fun talking to him, man. Guy, do you want to say to the people, man?
Biggest thing I can tell you, just learn stuff. Just learn stuff.
Well, we're done.
Hola, hola.